Discovering possibilities and potential with passion every day. This is a TPPN production. Welcome to the iPad Possibilities Podcast, episode number 94, Invisions Technical Arts. This podcast is sponsored by Gadget Freeway. Check out all of their amazing gadgets and accessories over at gadgetfreeway.com. And I'd like to thank them once again for supporting the iPad Possibilities Podcast. Well, this is the iPad Possibilities Podcast, as I said just a moment ago, a show where I discuss with others, the possibilities and potential of the iPad. For today's show, I've got an interview with Grant of Invisions Technical Arts, and he is, like myself, from Indianapolis, and that's where his development company is based out of. And today's show just discusses his thoughts with the iPad, the different software and applications they have for the iPad and iPhone, and we just kind of get into all what they're about. And I was very excited to, finally meet another, iPad user and developer here in Indianapolis. So I thought, hey, let's do a show on this. Let's release it to you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. I had a lot of fun talking with Grant, and without further ado, let's get on to the interview for today. Well, I'm here today with Grant of Invisions Technical Arts, and you're from Indianapolis as well, aren't you?
Correct. I think we are one of maybe only two. We might be the only ones that are actually developing iOS apps in the Indianapolis market. So,
yeah, I've been to one indie dev meeting right after the iPad came out, just kind of seeing who's here, and it was a bunch of small guys. They're talking about some stuff, but I hadn't seen a bunch of things in the App Store from indie developers. And when I was going over the Dropbox stuff, I noticed the phone number area code was 317. It's like,
yeah,
probably from indie.
Yeah, we did a little research, and I actually thought about attending one of those meetings. And, for the life of me, I did searches online, and I couldn't find anybody developing in Indianapolis. So, I started Invisions Technical Arts right when the iPad came out, and brought on Kevin as a partner, and he does all the development, and I do most of the client interactions and, kind of get the word out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And is your background mostly in marketing and that kind of field?
Actually, I was a magazine art director for 4 years. My background is in graphic design. I mean, I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I'd like to think that in Adobe Suite, like Photoshop, InDesign, Dreamweaver, Illustrator, the whole 9 yards. And when I saw Jobs give the keynote on the iPad, I was doing a lot of print material, and I just instantly recognized that that's it. That's where it's going. So I approached Kevin because he messed around a little bit writing some iPhone apps. And, I was like, hey, listen, I think we should create a couple things. And as we created it, it kind of built some momentum and gave us direction. And we approached some companies, and we've gotten tremendous feedback. I mean, our plate is full right now as far as development goes. I wish there was, 48 hours in the day, to be honest with you.
Yeah. As far as developing custom apps for different companies?
Yes. We've kind of split it. What we'll do is we develop custom apps for a flat rate, and then we also develop our own apps. We only take on projects from other companies that we feel like have a huge potential to really make a splash in the App Store. What we'll do typically is I will approach a company, and if they don't initially have that money up front to pay for it, what we'll do is take a percentage of the profit off the App Store. So that kind of, lessens the burden on them financially up front. And if we see a winner, then we can, be like, we'll take X percentage. And it's a win-win situation because they get their app up there, and both parties win. So
yeah, residual income's always a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the next big wave you'll see is from anybody doing anything print. you'll start to see it appearing on the iPad. It's just what type of quality you'll see it as. Me, for instance, I have, every single magazine that has an app I have. I don't know about yourself, but that's my go-to app.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have a particular favorite, but you see, variations. Woodwing does all the Condé Nast publications, and it's the same template. And that's kind of what me and Kevin have started working on and are going to put into action. We got a couple apps out there right now. The Italian Cookbook, which is you just search cookbook on your iPad. One of the top sellers is the Italian Cookbook. Well, we saw, there wasn't really any personalized cookbook out there. So what we developed was called Folio. And what Folio is a template in which we approach publishers and then they can put all of their content in that template. And that's what you see with Woodwing with all the Condé Nast. If you'll notice, all the UIs are exactly the same. And that's what we're really shooting for here. But also on the other side of that is we have custom apps like DropText. And DropText has by far been the most popular of our apps. I mean, it's getting great feedback. People love it. Even the people at Dropbox love it. So I couldn't be more happy with it.
Has there been any challenges being in Indianapolis developing? Is it easier to develop an app in like a community such as California where you're surrounded by all these developers? And
yeah, one of our long-term goals is to move headquarters to California. I think we are a little hampered, but there's also a big upside to that is we're the only people in the city that really do it.
Right.
So on that side of the ball, you've got that. But, Indianapolis is a little bit behind, I think, most of the companies in realizing the potential of the iPad. Where, say, you go out to California, I'm sure there's a lot of possibilities out there. I just read today in USA Today, the cover of the money section was about VC companies in California investing in iPad and iPhone developers. And you just see, that's kind of where the gold rush is. It's out there in California. Some things never change, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I just saw the social network, and that's where Mark moved, California, out of Harvard. And
yeah, Palo Alto, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's our goal. I would love to just move right there by Stanford. Nice weather, and then all the possibilities in the world right there. So
yeah. So let's kind of go through the different apps that I discovered on the App Store by just searching for your company name.
Sure.
And the first one was DropText. And this is one I found you guys about because I'm working on Dropbox episode pretty soon here.
Right.
And can you just simply explain what DropText is all about?
Yeah, sure. No problem. DropText is really Kevin's brainchild. He came to me with the idea. I wish he was here right now because he could get super dorky and get into the explanation. I'll give you the slick businessman explanation. DropText was the very first text editor on the iOS for Dropbox. We've added a couple features to it, but nothing out there existed where you could go into your Dropbox, pull up a text file, and edit that text. But with DropText, you can do that. And, we got tremendous feedback. And one thing we pride ourselves in is getting feedback from our customers and adding on features. If you had our app from day one, it doesn't even, we've probably added 20 features since then, including text expander. There's just a whole numerous variety. One thing we're really excited about is in a couple of weeks, we're going to be releasing DropText HD, which has a whole new UI for the iPad. And we think that'll be really cool. But, like I said, that's been our most popular app. We get feedback from all around the world. And hopefully, it'll be a popular app for months, years to come. We're going to keep pumping out the updates, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. And DropText is already an iPad app, so is this how did you describe the HD version? Is this going to be the same app, just updated even more, or is this an entirely different app?
Right. What we're going to do is change the user interface a little bit so it's more friendly to kind of access your files and then type on it. And then also at the same, uh, the features are going to be more of on the side of you buy which features you want. We've found that we've added so many features, and for the price of 99 cents, I mean, it can't be beat. You see other text editors for Dropbox out there who cost a little bit more, and quite frankly, they're not as good as DropText. What you'll see with DropText HD, it'll be a free app, and then you will pay 99 cents for the features you want. For instance, if you use Text Expander, that will be 99 cents. But if you don't, then you don't need it. You will be able to perform the basic functions of DropText absolutely for free. So that'll be the nice thing about it. It'll be free then, and then any sort of add-ons you'd like to use, it'll be 99 cents. So I think it'll be very well received because we've gotten a lot of great feedback so far.
Yeah, I'm a huge Text Expander fan, and I've been playing with that over the past few weeks, and that's a killer thing to have in any kind of document creation tool.
Yeah, and Kevin approached me and just mentioned, Kevin again is the developer I work with, and he came to me. He's like, we need to add Text Expander, and I had no prior experience with Text Expander, and once he showed me how it worked and it was in there, I was like, bingo, put it in there. And that's something some of our competitors had, and we just added probably a week later onto that. And a couple of our other competitors, I mean, you'll pay $3.99 for the app, and ours is 99 cents, and it does everything twice as good. I think if you just go log on to the App Store and read the reviews, I mean, they'll basically chime in with the same things I've been saying in this interview.
Yeah. So how good are I know you're not a developer, but has Kevin been telling you how easy it is to implement with Dropbox, the APIs, and saving directly back into it and things like that?
Yes, I know this is his baby. He works pretty hard on it. The very first version of DropText we released was fairly simple. The Dropbox APIs were very easy to use and incorporate, and after that, it was more so getting the customer's feedback after we initially released the app. Because once we got that feedback, like, this isn't working, got to change this. So it's been a daily process of just, updating and making sure everything works properly. I'd say overall, I mean, we released it, I think it was at the start of July, maybe, around July. And it's something we work on every day.
Yeah.
So there's definitely been a lot of time and work that have gone into this to make it as polished as it is.
Is the Dropbox limited to just text as far as their API is concerned? Will drawing ever be included? I think photos are able to be added and things like that. Is that correct?
You know what? That'd be a great question for Kevin to ask. And I'm actually going to ask him tomorrow. I wish I could, help you with that. But like I said, that's a developer one, and I can't go there. I'm sorry.
Okay. And just kind of closing off with DropText here, any future goals, or where do you see DropText, 6 months from now?
6 months from now, we hope to have a couple versions of DropText. There'll be the DropText HD, where you can add on different features. There'll be a free DropText that just has very basic features. And then we hope to have a premium DropText, which has all the features included in there. So there'll be 3 different apps out there that are DropText related, all either giving you the full shebang, giving you the bare basics, and then giving you the bare basics with the ability to add on what features you would like to add on to.
Okay, very cool. And moving from there, I noticed you have an unusual app for this next one. It's iHome, and I've never heard of what it integrates with. It integrates with Power Home. So I think before we introduce iHome, could you explain what Power Home does?
Yeah, Power Home is actually something that to be honest with you, I think probably 0.5% of houses actually, incorporate into their lighting system. I mean, it's essentially your entire house, garage, whatever your lighting system is, networked into a server. So that way, if you download this app on your iPad or iPhone, you can control everything, not only the lights, but the thermostat, the blinds, the whole 9 yards. It's more universal remote for your house. What's funny is it actually gets decent sales in the App Store. This is one of Kevin's first apps he had on the iPhone, and he converted it to the iPad for the release of the iPad. So it was actually launched with the launch of the iPad. So it was pretty cool that we had something that launched the day of the iPad on the App Store.
Okay, and I noticed on the Power Home website, it's $100 for Power Home. Is that all it costs to get your home converted to a Power Home?
No. That's just a software. You're going to have a technician come in to install all that. And I won't get into the hairy technical aspects of it, but it's definitely something that will wow everybody when you pull out your iPad for the movie, and say you have Apple TV, and then you throw that on there, and then you dim all the lights,
Shut the blinds.
Maybe turn down the thermostat a couple degrees.
So it's not an inexpensive solution, but a very cool one.
Yes.
Okay. I could think of one amazing use of this. If you run a haunted house, this would be really cool.
Yeah, there you go. And we've also seen it in a lot of commercial, like ballroom facilities. They'll have it integrated so that way their technicians can control the lighting and everything from their iPhone.
Okay. Does the Indiana Roof use this?
The Indiana Roof does not use this, but
okay.
I'm trying to get
if you're referencing that or not.
Oh, yeah, nice little plug-in, but no, I'm trying to get them to get onto it, but it was hard enough selling them on the iPad app, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah. So since it's working with your home lighting and everything, is there a way to, with I guess the iPad 3G and the iPhones, they have GPS inside of them. Is there a setting in the app, or do you think there will be eventually, that you can just walk into a room, the lights turn on, when you walk out, they're off, when you go to the garage, it opens the door or something like that?
I wish. I just think with our priorities, iHome, is a good app for us, but with the updates and the time and effort that will go into something like that, like I said, I'm going to have to hire more developers. So I think with iHome, the only thing in the foreseeable future would be a new user interface. It's very, very basic. They're just buttons in there where you can adjust the different, settings in your house with the lights. So the new user interface would be the only future goal really on the horizon for iHome.
Okay. And currently integrates with the lights. Does it do the blinds and all that stuff too, or is it just the lights right now?
Yes, it does. It can integrate with thermostat, the blinds, your lights in every room. So it's pretty nice. I know it's funny because it's hooked up in my house and in Kevin's. So if I forget to, it shows me what lights are on in the house. So if I pull out my iPhone, I can see, I left the bedroom light on, and I can just turn it off. Or, it's this temperature, I need to turn it down. So it's a very useful tool.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it. I've always dreamed of being able to control stuff with iPads, just walk in the house, turn your lights on that way.
Well, it's funny. It's my wife. It's another reason why I don't put down the iPad. I can control everything from it.
Exactly. So now we move on to a couple of apps that you mentioned, the Folio template, and the next three all use these as far as I could see, right?
Yes, that is correct. All the Italian Cookbook, the Cocktails Top Shelf, and the Indiana Roof Ballroom all use the Folio template.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And let's see. Let's start out with the Italian cookbooks. So, first off, the recipes. Where do you guys get these from?
The recipes are my wife. Her family is Italian. She's actually in the cookbook. The introduction, Gina, that's my wife, and she had all of her family recipes, which we incorporated into the app. We were sitting around at dinner one night, and she has all these amazing recipes, and I wanted to get something out there that showcased Folio to a wider audience.
Yeah.
Indiana Roof was the first app that we used Folio for, and it got a decent amount of downloads, but I wanted to tap into a larger audience with what Folio can do to really test what happens, when people download it and how they browse the information. So I thought the Italian cookbook was perfect because we were doing cookbook searches, and what you see is there's Weber Grill and Betty Crocker were the only two really major players in the cookbook area when I first came up with the idea. So we then, got all the images for all the recipes. I myself created all the graphics. How Folio works is Kevin sets up a web-based admin tool where I then load up all the images, texts, photo galleries, the whole 9 yards. So I actually create all those elements myself and place them in there. We designed the user interface just on a whiteboard one weekend, what we thought would work and what didn't work. And what's great about, again, getting our customers' feedback is we realized a couple things like, oh, well, we thought that was pretty intuitive to scroll down or to just tap into the photo galleries, but you find out that it's really not. Some things aren't that intuitive. So with the Italian cookbook, we developed it, we got it out there, and it was huge. It was one of those overnight things where you wake up in the morning and look at the top of the charts, and you're right between eBay and Betty Crocker, and you're just like, oh my God.
I went to bed and made money overnight.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, wow, that worked out. But since then, it's gone down, but like all apps, they go on the same kind of sales pace where it peaks really quickly, then goes down, and with your updates, it peaks again, then goes down. So it's been a really good app, and it's gotten a lot of positive attention, and especially here in Indianapolis, I can show up to different companies and kind of show them that and tell them, hey, we can convert any content you have into that pretty easily with this new system set up.
Okay. And since it is a template, is it hard to do custom interfaces within that to make it even more specialized? Like I'm thinking, for instance, with the cookbook, special interfaces for in the kitchen, such as, voice to text or, scroll down, you just talk to your iPad or something like that. Is that going to be a hard thing to do then?
What we're doing is we're actually we're working on Folio 2, and what Folio 2 is, in essence, the best parts of Folio, and then adding on features that you're referring to that we found through customer feedback was wanted, or things that just didn't work. We're pitching those, coming up with new ideas. We'll actually be having we will be having a new app come out in the next couple of months. That's a culinary magazine, and it will be monthly. And we're hoping to make a big splash with it. And it's going to really be based on Folio 2. And Folio 2, like you said, is it easy to add features? Yes and no. It is, because Kevin's so amazing in what he does. I can throw out, hey, let's do this. He's like, no problem. But then the downside of that is, oh, well, that's going to take 4 weeks to do. So it's really finding, okay, what features do we want to add that fit into our timeline? So it's really walking the tightrope of, well, that's going to take like 6 weeks to develop. Is it really that necessary to have that feature within the app? So we've got a couple picked out, and we think it's really going to help the app, or the Folio app.
Right. And with that, are you guys planning on adding any more recipes, or is it pretty much complete as far as you got enough of a library there for,
Oh
you
no,
know?
we'll be adding recipes to the Italian cookbook. There'll be, 10 new recipes added by next month in the paid version. The light version will stay the same. All the updates, as far as content wise, will be to the paid version. We'll have video that'll go through how to make certain dishes. Um, we're going to add all those in there because we see that as a good testing ground for user feedback.
Right.
The
Yeah.
Italian Cookbook HD is $1.99. And, it's a great value for the amount of recipes you get. I know we put a whole bunch of time and effort into making it what it is. So we've really gotten, some good feedback in the sense of what works and what people like and what they don't like. So I think it's been a win.
Yeah. And what kind of skill level do you think the recipes are for? Could, someone that hasn't cooked much use these, or is it for the more expert?
Well, that's an excellent question, Tim. I am a horrible cook, and my wife is an amazing cook. And to test it, I had the iPad out and I went through the recipe on the iPad and made a delicious meal. So I think anybody, with a little bit of cooking knowledge, not much, can
Yeah.
really prepare one of the dishes and have something spectacular. I mean, for instance, the rosemary tomato sauce, very easy and delicious. I mean, you just make that and throw that in with some pasta and boom, you got an amazing meal. So there's a couple recipes in there that are really easy to use and I think will surprise your guest, wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend. So it's definitely worth the download. And the HD version is $1.99. And if you want to sample some of the recipes in there, the light version absolutely for free. Just if you go and search cookbook, the Italian cookbook will come up right next to Betty Crocker, right next to all of them. You'll see them right away.
Yeah, in the light version, you can make a full meal out of that. You got appetizers, salads, all the 9 yards or whatever.
Right. We have 20 recipes in the light version, which, it's a good amount. I mean, you can make a full meal out of it, and it really gives you a good view of, what you're going to get with the full paid version.
Many cookbook applications have a counterpart iPhone application. Is that something the Folio technology will be able to?
A quick note, the original audio file got corrupted, so these 27 minutes are all that remain of this episode. So that is this episode. Let's move on to the next episode. Thanks. Bye.